Vas-y, je vais mettre le lien, mais tu peux y aller. Team.
Je connais moins les parties que toi tu connais.
So, hello everyone. Welcome, Lucille. So this sprint was the 59 sprint. Finish first, or peace and love. I don't know if we actually decide of the name. The sprint goals were to deploy messaging for Pro, the second wave, the second range of professional users. And we did we had to work as well on the fork, anticipate the next subjects with MC because they were coming in Paris, and work on the template messages. So web, it's your go.
Okay, so that's all we did except the fork. So we had the infinite reload of messaging. When we had an error, we would reload the page again and again and again until the end of time. And now we only reload it twice before saying, okay, you already reloaded. Maybe it's time to, I don't know, log out, try again later, but not reload again. And we also we created an error page for the integration because when you're chatting with a professional and you are particular, you can't have integration because they are disabled, and so we are noticing the user that you can have this kind of transaction. And the last one is on the add reply. We wanted to have the button always enabled because before you had to type a message, and now you can like send every time you want. And for the fork, this is everything we did. I'm gonna show you what it looks like now. Yeah, it's pretty well.
Okay, just let me get the URL. Oh putain, c'est Oh là là, c'est qui? Ah,
Okay.
Again.
Le clavier russe.
Master?
Non.
Non?
Ariane.
Il y a William qui m'a sorti un truc là. Tu veux.
Ouais,
Si tu veux.
Ah ok. Ça va pas du tout.
C'est bon. Ça arrive.
Awesome. Yeah, very well organized and stuff. So. Don't worry. Okay, do worry now. C'est pas normal.
T'as parlé à Ariane?
Ok. On va faire autre. There you go.
Wow.
So you didn't notice much difference because we try to do the same. But basically we have the conversation list on the left. So you can scroll for every conversation you want. you can change conversation. You can also do the bulk action to remove multiple conversation at once. So we try to use the new design from the design system. You can also I need conversation with a lot of message. But basically you have a infinite scroll on the top. And for now the input is just a dummy input, but you can actually send attachments with the new design. I don't know what happens if I send it. But William is actually working on the next step, which is to display the image on the conversation list. And for next time, I believe we will have the message list done, and we will start on the header at the top. And I can try something to receive a message in real time if I have another attempt. This one. Okay, so here I have the one account, and here I have the others. If I send a message, so first I see that I am online. If I go on this page, I'm not online anymore. And if I go back, I am online. And I can receive messages. There you go. Any question?
Nice. The question are much faster than expected.
Not really. Well, yeah, it's going well, but we are not going much faster than expected because we still need to handle all the integration and the input. For now, we only did the basic features, which is the messages. But yeah, it's going well. Thank you.
Just before Android, you have a focus on message template. So as you know, we launched an A/B test, an experiment from Messaging Center about how we can integrate a message template on the conversation. So this test was available only for sellers and at the first, after the first message of the buyer. So as you see, we have three different messages. Yes, it's available. No, it's not negotiable, and no, it's not available. So this test was run between the 12th and the 19th February on those categories. And if we focus on the data, so the first data are those ones. So as you see, the message that was used from the users, the most used template message was oui, c'est toujours disponible, with 70% of use. The second one was sorry, this good is not available anymore, and the third one was the price is not negotiable. So if we take a global view, the message template was used by 13% of the users that who saw the experiment, equals to 37,000 clicks during those 7 days. So this is a good news. We will integrate, I think, those use cases in the fork. It's plain, so maybe the first step will be to integrate the same use case and then personalize different user journey with maybe different message for real estate, different message for employment, and so on. Question?
Hello, everybody. The actual sprint, how it was for us, for Android team. One of the tasks for this sprint was messaging for Pro. We opened it in our beta version for 50, and it was in the beginning of this week. Now it's available for 400 users, and it's available for 6 activity sectors. In this version, we upgraded our Knocker SDK with the domain migration. Also, we upgraded messaging SDK. It will allow us to use a new integration method to integrate our screens. Yeah.
What do you mean by domain migration?
They have changed the domain migration on on your side, and they have now pro environment, pre-prod environment, and production environment. Actually, there is
moved from Shipstead to the Delta domain.
yeah. And also we were working on SDK forking. For example, our Android colleagues from core team provided they did a good job, and they provided us continuous integration for our commits. Now each commit pass UI tests, lint integration quality verifications. They also added nightly builds. Before it was on Jenkins, now it's on Zul. We can check it. There are links below. We can take it presentation and verify it if you want. Yeah, you can ask if. No, it's okay.
So we keep an SDK. Le Bon Coin SDK.
I will explain it. Yes. Yeah. The architecture it will be on the next slide. Then there is a publishing task, that publishing job, and it published SDK on Artifactory. We can check it by following this link, for example. You can see that we published this morning the version 8.5.2, and this version keeps our domain name, Faire Le Bon Coin. And we can also notice that there is a new one from Shipstead. They published it yesterday, but now we have two versions, ours and yours. And the difference, I will explain it later. And also now we are publishing App Center. It's their application allowing to test messaging. I will show it later as well. For our side, by forking SDK, we decided to upgrade to make some modification for building the SDK. For example, in our application, we use Kotlin DSL language to build scripts. We upgraded it. Then we organized new beta dependencies on 3 groups for SDK, for application, and for tests. Now we had to fix some UI tests by doing this job mentioned upper. And we also renamed, as you see before, package name from Shipstead to Faire Le Bon Coin. And about architecture, actually we have this this architecture. On the left side, we can see Le Bon Coin application with a messaging model. Frederic, during this sprint, he works on centralization of all dependencies in the project, in the Le Bon Coin project, to move it in a dedicated model, messaging model. And now it uses SDK, messaging SDK. Messaging SDK are presented by different blocks. Now, actually, in our application, we take only 2, messaging UI and messaging XMPP, and they take inside other dependencies. And on the other side, you have sample application. And it's a second project which we are forked, and they uses the same SDK. And now for us, the goal is to we will continue to work on this project. I mean, in the SDK, and to deliver our job. I guess it will be simpler for us to use this sample application because it's compiled 5 times quicker, and we don't spend, for example, 5-10 minutes in our project to compile the whole application. We just in 30 seconds it's compiled. And it's really great for us. But we have to improve this application because it was not it's not the same as we used to work. Dependencies isolation, it's Fred's job. As I mentioned, he moved all dependencies in this module. SDK testing, actually, to give some more details, we have around 144 UI tests, and when you start them, it's really impressive. They working during 5.
Question for the slide just before. The XMPP module did the call on our server or on messaging service?
Actually, during the integration, we updated. They use our URLs, our domain names, which we specified here in the application, and this model does the call for our backend. But when we integrate this SDK for another application, like sample application, they use their own domain names.
So today we are doing XMPP call on our server.
Yeah.
Just for running MSG
For-
proxy, right?
It's proxy. It's ours domain names, but backend is on the Spain side.
It's just a Go proxy service, which does nothing. Almost.
I can show, for example, it's like like this one. For example, it's for QA environment. I don't know if you can see. API boncoin.net messaging proxy API all user ID, and they use their own domain name. And for us, for API 3 it will be QR3, for preprod it will be preprod, etc. So about UI testing, they have 124 unit tests. For messaging, for UI part, it's 24, and 20 for XMPP. Actually, it's for database because when they obtain messages, they save it in database. And unit tests, it's about 1,700. LBC Connect. We also during this sprint we also try to integrate LBC Connect to this application sample app, because we needed to have our token from our backend, from our servers, to able to obtain messages. And we tried this project, and for us currently we decided to use native solution and then integrate it a little bit later, but we did our feedback to Alvin. For example, things to improve. We saw a black screen when you were already connected to QR3 and you try to use this Le Bon Coin. And for Android 10, we seen black screen. Then there is work to improve for refresh token. And if we have multiple apps like Le Bon Coin and messaging test apps, there will be a conflict. We have to resolve them. And that's why currently for our sample application we prefer to use native solution. SDK release, as I said today, this morning we published our own SDK by the job, publishing job provided by core team, and we will deliver this SDK to Mars according to our release plan. And it should about the version that it will be 8.5.2. Probably we rename the SDK, or probably we will do some modification because it will be 2 weeks and we will continue to work on it, and probably it won't be the same, but what we can say that it will be our forked SDK. And this week we had our colleagues from Spain, and it was very helpful. We worked with the first workshop was for Knocker. We found a solution how can we receive notification for debug application and prod environment, and also we adapted the messaging application for our backend. I will just 1 minute, small application, small demo. I hope it will work. Yeah, if you can see sample app, it looks like this. For example, if you start it, normally you had to type your email address to able to communicate, but now we use a hard-coded email address with hard-coded password. We don't work we don't integrate actually yet OBC Connect. And if you click on the login button, yep. Yeah. For example, we obtained for my account our messages from QR3, and we can communicate. We can send messages. For example, if I move up, we can see that it's really XMPP. It's real-time messages. Okay. Yeah, you can see that I can tap and we receive notifications. Okay. Yeah. On this side, I don't know why it doesn't work. Oh, it's backend. Oh, it's web issue. We have to check. It's sent it. But there are lots of works on this part of the application. For example, if we want to receive notification, we have to integrate our Firebase projects. We have to clean a lot and lots of stuff. And for the next sprint, we are continue to clean SDK with the application sample, and we will try to integrate some useful features for product features by communicating with Lucie. We will try. Do you have any questions?
All right. I will also talk about messaging fork SDK. There's a lot of things Andre talk about Android side, which also apply on the iOS side. So I'll try to make it quick. Just a reminder of how our iOS application works. It's split on several internal modules. One of them is used for the messaging SDK integration. The main goal of the SDK, the fork SDK, is to make the messaging messaging system messaging module as one of them, and applies the same rules in this SDK than all the other internal modules. So the step is quite simple: retrieve the code, create a new module, remove some dependency, and implement it in our own CI. So several challenges about that. Integrate the messaging SDK in our CI, so make it sure it also runs the UI test, the unit test, so to make sure it still works. On the messaging SDK on iOS side, there is a lot of frameworks, essentially used for testing, for unit testing, for UI testing. Some framework we don't use on our side, but they use it for code convenience, etc. So we are still thinking about which one we can remove it. Another issue we're thinking for the future is how will we fetch a future contribution on the messaging center side. So if, for example, if they develop new features, which some feature or some fixes that we are interested in, so how we will fetch it in our own code. and of course how we switch from their SDK to our own. So what's done? A lot of things. So the module is created. For the messaging fork, we are currently using the version 16.5.1, which is not the latest version of the SDK, but this is the one we are using on the LBC side since the beginning of February, and it's currently working, so it's stable enough to use it. On the CI side, we created the jobs in order to run the test, etc. And for now, the unit tests are currently working fine. But on the UI test, it's still there are still some of them which are failing. So I'm still working on it. So the next step is quite simple: finish test migration, fix the test, remove as much dependencies as possible. Import the demo application, the same kind of application Andre show you at the end or at the end, and of course switch it to the new SDK. Done.
All right. So here's what we have done backend-wise during this sprint. Migration of attachment Kafka, the migration of Knocker domains, what Andre explained earlier. Some improvements of error handling. This has been really helpful for monitoring. We started an analysis of Knocker, and during the visit of messaging, we had a meeting, and they explained Knocker to us. We still have a lot of questions, but it was very helpful. And we also did a restructuring of emailer. All right. So as a reminder, we deployed the second wave of messaging for pros on Monday the 17th. Here's daily stats that's representative of the past week. And out of 500,000 conversations in response to an ad, 11,000 were conversations that included at least one professional user. Here's the breakdown per hour. That's also quite representative of the average. All right, so if you don't have any questions or comments, Emmanuel will tell us more about errors.
Just about some errors we saw on MSG proxy. So this module, this Go service is responsible of forwarding every request to MC. It does almost nothing. So we noticed this week that we have a lot of 400 errors without any error message. So it's not very easy to investigate such errors because we just have bad requests and we don't know why. So with the help of Thibaut and MC, we understood two problems. First of all, the infinite reload was fixed this day, and we saw the difference. It made a big change. And another problem, at this date, the HTTP headers were larger. I was asking why to the publicity team, advertising team. They don't know why. Auth team doesn't know why. So we have a larger HTTP request from this day, and MC didn't allow such a big HTTP headers. So they changed that during this week, and now we have almost no errors. So this screen is from yesterday, but the HTTP 400 errors are much reduced. And beside that, MC is working on improvement of the error message so that we know why these HTTP 400 errors are occurring.
Yes, and we have done some work on emailer service. At the beginning of so at the beginning of this sprint, we had emailer service that has the role that has two endpoints. The first one is just send email, and the next one it's send email and request its archiving. So at this level, we save the archiving request in database, and also emailer has the role to store emails into Amazon and clean archiving queue database. And we have done this work like this at the beginning just to have as fast or as soon as possible something to have in prod environment, so that a payment feature team could request or could save their archiving requests. So we have done some restructuring. So we have created another service, email archiver, and we have just moved those two workers from emailer to email archiver. And everything is it's merged in master. It's ready for prod. And I will just yes.
I don't see the difference between
The two what?
the difference between the
The first one is just that we have endpoints and worker into one service. And the other one just that we have in some split. Emailer is just endpoints, and the workers it's another microservice. So each microservice gonna have its pool connection and its database and its responsibility as well. Archiving email, just a brief summary. How does it work? It is open for now only for a payment feature team. If another team tries to request archiving, we will respond unauthorized, HTTP code 403. So if another team wants to archive the email, she had to make a request for an authorization from contact feature team to use this endpoint instead of this one. The archiving request is going to be saved into an archiving queue. It's just a database. This one it's in prod environment. So we are saving all the archiving requests from payment feature team. And we have two workers. An archiver worker will run periodically to save the emails in Amazon, and the cleaner worker will delete the request that has been pushed to AWS. And so far, this one it's not deployed in Pro, in Prod, yes. Just because payment feature team has just used a wrong value of a field that we use to build the Amazon path. So we are waiting for them to fix that, and then we are going to enable archiving in Pro. Yes, I will.
Since a few weeks or months, we are working on the 500 HTTP errors. So just kind of errors that the server is not able to know what to do, and it's very bad for other services when they got such an error. And here you can see the evolution. So before we had 98% of success without 500 errors, and now we are much better. We much improved all the things. Most of the errors were not so critical actually. We did a lot of confusion between user not found and a lot of user not found were causing 500 errors, and it was not supposed to. So we changed that. and it makes the monitoring much clearer, because now when we have a 500 error, we know that there is something wrong. But a user not found is something expected, because the user can be deleted. So we're still working on it and monitoring, and this week I think we had 3 tickets to improve the stacks.
So on my part, the next steps concerning fork is to redesign this upload model. So this is the actual one, and this is the one we're gonna do. So there is some wording changes, and yeah. Also, we are running A/B tests on the LDV. So we're gonna have some data soon. We are starting the verticalization of the ad reply. This for BDC and also the employment category. So basically, we are asking for the needs of users of each category, so we can kind of improve this the ad reply page. I'm gonna share with you the user tests results next week. And we're going to have some results of the ad reply and messagerie form too. And yeah, that's it.
Just in a few words, next week we don't go on holidays, we work for some of us. So we will continue working on small features about messaging for Pro, especially the redirection from the Pro pseudonym to the Pro page. We continue for and we continue also to work on Knocker. This was the biggest subject with MC 2 days ago. We will improve ad replies on iOS and web. And we will also start working on our Q2 roadmap, and we have a workshop next week. Next week. And breaking news, Audrey, the fantastic person, will join the team next week. Peggy is back next week also in the team contact. And 2 informations, we have 2 init subjects in the team. So first one is Thibaut. He's a finalist of Culture Awards. So he will... And the second thing, we create a document about how transaction was integrated in messaging with Jofia. So, and we are also finalists for this innovation project. So all of us, we will go in Barcelona to present our subject. That's it. Thank you very much. Questions? Sorry for being late. Thank you very much.
Thank you.